Hello Roulette fans, it's TeKKa Roulette back with another video, and we are back on the TeKKa tournament. We are in League 1 at the minute. We will be doing probably 2 or 3 leagues, and this is session 2. It will be another 30 spin session. We've got our 4 strategies. We'll be playing one of them today, and we'll check with the analysis how the others would do. And then we'll get it in the table and we'll see what's going on. So before we get straight into the video, just remember, this is not financial advice. This content is for entertainment purposes only, showing my journey and showing my strategies which I like to play. They're not my strategies, I mean the strategies I like to play. Nothing more and nothing less. Because just remember, I'm just a guy sitting in his room playing roulette. I don't have a beer. I use the beer money to have a spin. And if I'm profitable, then I can have a beer. So that said, let's get into what we are going to be doing today. Right, TeKKa tournament. Strategies in League 1. So we have the recent 7 streets to hit. The recent 2 dozens to hit. The recent dozen positions to hit, and the recent 9 streets to hit. There is a pattern to this league. We are seeing how well different follow the winner strategies do. So this is what happened in session 1. So the recent 2 dozens did have the most profit after 30 spins, but it was also the most risky strategy, needing over $900 of the $1,000 bankroll during the 30 spins. The recent 9 streets had the lowest amount of profit, but it was profitable, but it only ever went $8 into the initial $1,000 bankroll. So it depends how you want to play, I suppose. But in that first session, which is the best system to play? Is it the super risky one, which nearly takes up the whole bankroll, but the bankroll was $1,000, so it's utilizing all the assets that we have, but one more bad loss and we would have lost everything? Or a really safe system. Nothing is guaranteed to be safe. Nothing is guaranteed in gambling, just remember that, where you don't win as much money, the profits aren't as big, but you're always not getting into deep water with your bankroll. It's up to you. But this series is going to do multiple sessions to see how each of these systems did. Last time we were showcasing the recent 7 streets, and today we are going to be showcasing again the does position, the recent does position. So this is session 2. We are playing the 3 most recent dozen positions to win. Right, quick thank you to Jack Ace, because I've used this tool again, the web tool, to show you the different positions. So we have 4 pictures. The top left is does position 1. The top right is does position 2. The bottom left is does position 3, and the bottom right is does position 4. Each of them cover 3 streets, and the way we play the recent does positions is we play the 3 most recent ones to hit, and that's it. So recovery methods. So for all these strategies, they are all doing martingale progression. Okay, once we get into a recovery progression, i.e. we lose at least once. So for this one, it is a 9 street bet. So this is my standard way I play 9 streets when I am martingaling. So if we just lose once, we require 2 wins at the next progression level. If we lost twice in a row, we would need 2.5 wins at that next progression level after that, so level 3. So what we would do is we would get 2 wins at level 3. We drop back down to level 2 for 1 spin. That's 2.5 wins at progression 3, and then we would reset back to progression 1. If we get 3 losses in a row, we will need 3 wins at the higher progression. So if we lost, we'll be on progression 4, and we'd need 3 wins in that progression 4 to be able to reset. If we do get wins and losses whilst we are in a recovery progression, these will change slightly, but essentially we reset at session profit. If we can go back 1 progression to achieve session high profit, then we will do so. That is essentially what this is saying. So now then, what is the max progression we are willing to get to on this 9 street bet? So it's between 6 and 7 progressions, depending on how well we're doing. 6 progressions will take up about $600, $550 of the bankroll. 7 progressions just goes over it to, would cost about $1,100, which we haven't got in the bankroll. That's why I'm saying 6 to 7 progressions. Maximum bankroll to the initial bet is 110x of the initial bet. So our starting bet size, we've got $1,000 bankroll again. So $1 per street, $9 in total per initial bet. So that is what we are going to be doing. So nothing further to do. Let's just get onto the wheel and let's see how the 30 spins play out. So we are on the wheel. We'll just watch this spin and then we will start betting. Like I said, we've got in the top right corner, we have the 4 different strategies. Recent 7 streets, recent 2 dozens, recent 9 streets, and the does position. Right, so we're not on does position 1. So we've put on our 12 units and we're taking off does position 1, which is the first position in each of the 3 dozens. It is a $9 initial bet. We are on the motor wheel again, which is a little bit slower than some of the other wheels, because as you can see, the man in the background is giving people money because it is a live wheel in Malta. So in the top, right at the top, you can see the last spin. So I've put in the last spins so you can see which are the last spins to come out. As you can see, the last spin to come out was a 5. So they are about to spin. And as you look at that nice spin, bang on where the last spin result was, and they've spun from that way. That's why I play the motor wheel. Some people say it's like fudge, so once it goes in it just gets stuck, but that's what I like to play. That is a 31. Won the first bet. $3 up after 1 spin. Yeah, so let me know what you think about the tournament. Did you like the first session? Is there anything I could improve on? I've just changed the screen layout just slightly. We've got our graph in the bottom corner showing the bankroll. Obviously, that's not the bankroll we're playing with today. We're playing with a $1,000 bankroll. Just done another spin. Again, a nice spin. These go anti-clockwise and clockwise, whereas some of the wheels in the studios just go one way, which I don't particularly like. I like it to be clockwise and anti-clockwise. So currently we've got the recent 2 streets is on a 2 loss level. 2 dozens was on a loss level as well, whereas the 2 9 street bets were winning. That was a 25 though, which was in does position 1 and has lost. So we're going to our second progression and we're taking off does position 4. Does position 4 is the last street in each of the 4 dozens. Up to 2 units now. So we need to win twice to be able to get out of the progression. spun again. So this is the thing as well with the motor wheel. Sometimes they spin slowly, but they do sometimes spin fast. So you need to be a little bit careful. So don't dawdle too much putting on your bet, because they will just spin and then they'll just shut it off. I don't know if they do that for a reason or not. So it's repeated again in 25. So because we're following the winner, we have won that bet. Whereas if you were being static and you were betting on that bet, you would have lost the game. So now we're going to try and get our second win on the recent 2 dozens. And obviously, because all of these bets are follow the winner of some sort, because it was a repeating number, they all won. What do you think about playing follow the winner? Do you think it is one of the better ways to play? Do you prefer to play follow the losers? Do you like just to play static bets where you play betting on the same numbers every single time? You know, this is what I really like to know about the people who are watching my videos. What do they prefer to do? That is a 36, so that's lost as well. So we've had 1 win. Now we've lost again, so we're going to have to go up a progression. So now we're going to be on 4 units, and we're taking off the second street in each of the 3 dozens. So essentially now we have won a half of this progression already, because we won at $2. So we still only need 2 wins at this progression, and then this recovery progression set will have won 2.5 times. So after 2 losses, we need to win 2.5 times, but we've already won the half time. So we just need to win twice, and we can get out of the progression in session profit, and then we can reset. Let's see it first if we can get these 2 wins. That is a 19. That does position 3. Oh, it's an 18. I don't know why I thought it's 19. So that is lost as well. Okay. So we're going to have to go up to our next progression. So this is 8 units, and we're taking off the 3rd does position. So the 3rd street in each of the 3. As you can see, spun quickly there. Haven't speeded up this wheel today. So I don't know whether he's spinning fast because someone at the table has asked him to spin fast, or whether they're trying to catch someone out or whatever. But now we will need 3 wins, I think, to get this to session profit. So that was a 10 in does position 4. That's 1 win. Currently, we've got 3 wins and 3 losses, which, you know, not the best results for a 9 street. Coverage system, 27 pockets covered of the 37. But roulette is roulette. It's random. You know, sometimes you'll get sessions where you win 15 and have no losses. Sometimes you win 3 and you lose 3. It's just roulette. It's the randomness of roulette. People say people are cheating, but they don't say it's cheating when they win 15 in a row, do they? No. It's just when they lose less than what they're expected to. It's just randomness. Choose your systems, choose your progressions, so that you can weather storms, and that your systems might go on losing streaks, but you'll be able to cover it. So that's 24. That's a 2nd win. So we've got 2 wins now. So because we did have that win before, we think that this will get us back to session profit at 2. It's to be about 2.7x, and I think it will get us. We could have stayed high, but you know, I think this will get us back to session high profit. So that's what we're going to do. We could have stayed high and got a bit of an extra jackpot if we did win. But if we lose, then we're going on to our next progression level, and we're trying to stay as safe as possible in this tournament. Do what we need to. That is a 15. That's in the 1st dozen position. We are back at base bet. As you can see now, we did We only got 1 unit of profit for that whole, however many spins it was. So 7 spins, but so be it. We could have stayed at the $8 bet, and we would have got an extra $12 of profit. But we're keeping it safe. We're keeping it real. You're going to see real results from real strategies doing real work. That's what this tournament is about. We're going to put things against each other in a 4-league system. They'll all have 4 sessions each, playing the same numbers. We'll see how they do. And I'm not going to choose the one that wins the most money to be the definitive winner. I've got a different analogy of which was the best system, and that is what we're going to do, and I'll share that with you in a different video. So that did lose. So now we are on, don't know why not does position saying 2 losses there. Oh no, 1 losses. We're on not does position 2, sorry, yeah. So we've taken off the second street from each dozen. We are on progression 2. We need 2 wins to get out. I haven't kept my eye on the others, so I'm not sure how well they've done at the minute, but we will do the analysis and show you how the others did at the end of the spins. Currently had 9 spins. That's an 8. Does position 3, and that's 1. So we're back into profit, but not session profit. We need another win at this level. Yeah, so with the tournament, the second league, I'm not 100% sure what the 4 are going to be, but in the third league, I haven't got a clue what the strategy is going to be. I'd like some input from the people watching the videos. So in the comments, tell me what system you'd like to see in the tournament. So it's $1,000 bankroll. You know, we're looking at around $1 a street sort of value of initial starting bet, something like that. But depending on the strategy, it might be more, might be less. You know, we'll try and find a safe system for it. So that was a 12 and 1. That's our 2 wins. So we can reduce that back down, taking off the does position 2. So the second street in each dozen, playing the 3 most recent positions. Currently $9 up in 11 spins. So it doesn't sound like groundbreaking amount, but we have got a low starting bet. We're playing safe. We've got $1,000 bankroll. I know other people, if they were playing this system with $1,000 bankroll, they would start at $5 or $10 per street. And I'm going to show you in this tournament, it's not worth it, because I'm going to have to go higher than the progressions that they would have been able to get to. Yeah, if you want to go in and try and be lucky for 3 or 4 spins, try and get the expected straight away, 3 wins without a loss on the higher coverage, you can try it if you want. I'm trying for my journey to think of strategies where I can play for long periods of time, not having to worry if I get a couple of losses, because I know the systems that I'm playing will come through them sticky patches, because the sticky patches do come. You need to be able to deal with the sticky patches. That was a 3, so that won as well. We're making slow and steady profit. We are trying to be as safe as possible. Nothing is safe in gambling, but if you try and be safe, low starting bets compared to a bankroll, knowing your progressions if you are martingale or doing anything else, understanding how many wins you need before you can reduce your bets, And this is why I understand all this, and that's why I can play martingale quite well. Other people say that they only like to play going one unit up at a time instead of martingaling, which is fair enough if that's what they prefer to do. But how high will their bets get before they can recoup into session profit? Because they've had to keep their bets at them higher progressions, although they're lower than my progressions. I had to win twice to get back, or 3 times max. That was a 17 and lost. So we will have to go to the second progression. And we are not on the third does position. There we go. We've got our bet on 2 units per street. But they have to go 1, 2, maybe 3 more times winning at that higher progression before they can reset, compared to what I'm compared to. They need to win more at a higher level. So they essentially need to win more in the session than me. I can lose more in the session and still, in my eyes, have a safe session and gain a nice little profit. Where when you go up by 1 unit at a time, sometimes when you get into that sticky patch, you stay in that sticky patch because you're winning a couple, losing a couple. Win 4 and you're still not out of the progression. You still need to win a couple more. You lose again. Then you need to win 5. You only win 3. Then you lose. So then you need to win 6. And you're still at this high. You just stay at the higher progressions for longer. It's a myth that going up by 1 unit is safer than martingaling when you're on high coverage. Right, so we won that one. We're on with an 11, which was the 4th does position. So we're trying to get our second win at the second progression. Let's see if we can. Currently, we have, is that 14 spins, I think? My eyesight's not the best. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Then also you can go the other risky way and try and win with high coverage. If you're trying to win all your money back in 1 spin, that can be problematic as well. You either need a mega bankroll or you need just to be damn lucky. Because literally, so for a 9 street bet, you have to double, and you're literally only going to get a base unit win back, no matter how much. So that's a 2 and a 1, so we can now drop back down. We're currently $15 in profit, but we haven't had a very good session so far. So we're currently 10 wins, 5, is it 5 or 6? Yeah, 5 losses. So we're on a ratio of 2 to 1. We should be on a ratio of 3 to 1 for a 9 street coverage bet. So we'd hope to get a few nice wins in these remaining 15 spins. You know, we'd hope to try and get closer to the 3 to 1 ratio, get our profit up before we finish, but doesn't mean we will. You know, I do keep getting this one comment. He goes, that malt wheel's like fudge. That's what he says. I can't remember who it is that says it. He isn't wrong, no. Sometimes they just bounce, and once they hit in the pocket, they just stay. So that did lose. So we are going to be don't think that's spun. I don't think that went on the that didn't go on the graph. So the graph is 1 spin behind because we did just lose, and the graph's still saying $15 in profit. So we'll have to take that into account when we do the analysis. You'll see that that is the case. So we're currently that one. The graph is $9 higher in profit than it actually is, because it's one spin, because it didn't register one spin. But that won with a 7. Currently on not does position 2. So we need a second win here to be able to get out of the progression. Yeah, the graph normally works really well on this site. I'm not sure how it dropped that one, but yeah, it has dropped one spin. Yeah, so trying to win on high coverage, trying to recoup all your money in one spin. You just need loads of money, and you need to be careful about the limits that they'll let you bet per spin, because anything can go 3 or 4 losses in a row. Doesn't matter how high your coverage is. That was a 12. That's 1. That's our 2 wins. So we can reset. So it's saying 27, but it's not. We're at $18 in profit. Coming up to, so we've had 18 spins, still got another 12 spins left in the session. Don't forget, I forgot to say that we will give every progression, every strategy, we have 30 spins. If a strategy is still in a recovery progression, we will give them up to 5 additional spins to be able to get out of that recovery progression and into session profit. Didn't need it on the session 1, but you never know, we might need it today. So just to be clear that I am giving a little leeway on the number of spins, because no one in their right mind stops after 30 spins, no matter what. It's, you decide what to do. And for this tournament, it's 30 spins, but if you're in a recovery progression, you can try and use 5. But after 5 spins, if they're still not in session profit, then that's it. They'll get the highest position, whether it be at 30 or whether it be at 35. They'll get their whatever's the highest, if they don't reach session profit again. Right, so we are on second progression again, and we are not on the first dozen position. That's the first street in each dozen we are not covering. So we haven't had the best spins today, have we, really? But we're still in profit. It's, you know, we're not going to moan about it. 12 wins, 7 losses. So some people might say, oh yeah, I've got a system that'll do a lot better than this one. Well, that's fine. You use that system. How many consecutive sessions can your system win? What are the flaws of your strategy? What will make your strategy fail? What are the positive and pros of your strategy? What makes it win? Think about it. Think about analysis of actual spins. That was a 16 and we won. Think about previous sessions and how high how many losses did you see in a row for your strategy on a previous session you played? Because this is what you need to keep in mind. You need to know what you are expecting to see. So if you've seen that a 9 street bet goes 5 losses in a row, you need to expect to see 5 losses in a row on a 9 street bet. I've seen 7 losses in a row on a 9 street bet. That is a 25, so that has lost. So we are going to go up to the next progression. So we're on the third progression. I think we did get the little half win. So we still just need 2 wins to get out of the progression. So if we get 2 wins, we'll be out of the progression because we won the spin before. Not on does position 3. So we are actually $3 in the red at the second. That was a free though, and that has put us back into back into profit, not session profit. $9 in profit now, because remember the graph is showing $9 more profit than it should be, because it forgot to record a spin. But if we get this one, I do believe we will be in session profit. Oh, I hit a 0 though. Okay, right then. So that's not good. So we need to just repeat the bet. Still the same. Not does position 3 is still the longest to hit. So up to $8 now, which is the 4th progression. So we've had a win at the 2nd progression. We've had 1 win at the 3rd progression. Did we ever win at yeah, 1 win at the 3rd progression. So now we need at least a couple at this one, and then we'll see where we're at. So let's see what happens. Currently on is that 23 spins we've done now? Recent 2 dozens have had 3 losses in a row. That was the one that used most of its bankroll in the last session, but did get the most wins. But that has lost as well. That is a 9. So we've had 2 losses in a row now on the does position. So we have to go to 16. And we're taking off the 4th does position, which is the last street in every dozen, onto our 5th progression. Graph is not looking good now, is it? So we're way into over $200 into our bankroll. Now we probably will need 3 wins to get out of this. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's near that. No, it's okay. Spun away. That is a 2. In the first does position, that's 1 win. So there's 1 win. See if we can get a couple more. Get out of the progression. So yeah, 25 spins in. Last 5 spins. Can we get back into session profit in these 5 spins, or are we going to have to use our security 5 spins? Let's see. So they have spun again. Let's see what we get this time. That's a 35 though, and that's lost. This is testing us today. What our systems need to happen now. So we are going up to 32, and we're taking off the 2nd does position. Is this going to get whacked? I don't know. It might do. We've had 26 spins. We are about $195 of losses, plus the bet we've got on now. That's, you know, over $500 of the bankroll. That's 1 win though. So we've had quite a few wins on the way up. So we've like we lost, then we won, then we lost, then we lost, then we won, then we lost. Something like that, wasn't it? Then we just won. Not sure where we're going to get after this win. So we're $99 down. Just remember that extra $9. And this is going to give us about a $90. Yeah, so we're going to need something after this. Probably have to half our bet. After, if we win this one, we're going to probably have to half our bet. And just do one at that level. Something like that. We'll work it out once we see if we win. That is a 24 and has won. So we've got getting closer, right? Yeah, so we are $3 in the red. So we are going to reduce our bet. And we've gone down to $16. We can get back to session profit with $16. So we have gone back one progression. So if we get this win, we can reset. We've had 28 spins, 2 spins left. Can we get the win here? And it is is that 14? Yeah, 14. So we've won there. That's great. And we've got one last spin. Not does position 2. We're up to $45 in profit. So hasn't been the best session. We got $60 profit, I think, last time on this session, on this format of $1 per street and 30 spins. But currently we've got 18 wins and 11 losses. So even though we've, the session has been poor in the win to loss ratio, still got profit though, people. We're not moaning. We ain't moaning on this channel. Okay. What is that? That's an 11. And that has won as well. So there we go. We are looking at about $48 profit, I think. So we have got 5 extra spins now. We will just watch the next 5 spins just in case, just to see what they are. So yeah, profit is a profit at the end of the day. Can't knock that. We did have to go a little bit deep. We had $1,000 bankroll and we've probably used 500 of it by the look of it, but it will come out in the analysis. You'll see in the analysis exactly what we had to do. That was a 22. Would have won. We would have got a bit extra profit. So she's spinning again. Yeah, so if you're liking the video, please, give me a nice little thumbs up. Give me a comment. Let me know what strategy you would like to see in the tournament. I'm definitely going to have 12 in the tournament. If people are super enjoying it, we can get another league as well. Get 4 leagues going if we need to. If people are enjoying it. If they're not, I'm not going to make a big long tournament. But so that was a 28. Yeah. If you're not subscribed and you're liking the content, please think about subscribing. Trying to get to 700. Hopefully by the end of the year, we might be up to 1,000. That's the dream. Don't know if it'll have to happen. Don't think it will happen, but The dream is to get 1,000 before Christmas. And yeah, so that's a 23. So I have got the low bankroll challenge where I've taken $10. I opened a brand new casino account. I put in $10. That's the only thing I've ever done in it. And I've played a couple of sessions so far and showed them on the channel, and we're about $30 up, £30 up, should I say. And I think I've done 4 more videos for that, so I need to upload them videos as well, get them videos out, so I'll try and do that for you as well. So that's a 22. That's 4 of them, so 22, 28, 23, 22. This will be the last one. This is another fast spin. So then the 5th extra number, if required, is... Then we can go and look at the analysis. Is that a 25? I think it is. Yeah, 25. There we go. Right then. So now what we'll do is I will just find the... Yeah, there we go. We'll go and have a look at the... Is it that one? Yep, here we go. So, got my point. Yeah, so we did the recent does positions today, and as you can see here, this is the orange one. Recent does positions, $48 in profit. So what are we looking at here? So we have from the left, spin number. Then we have the spin result. And then in each of the 4 strategies that we're doing, we get whether it won or lost. So if it's a 0, it won. If it's a number, it lost. Then we've got the bet amount for that particular spin, what it returned, and then the cumulative profit for the strategy for the session. So let's look at quick look at the recent does position. So as you can see, we got $54 down there. Did we get any worse than that? Yeah, we were $99 down there. So the worst it got was $99 down. Then it came back and it got $48 in profit. After 30 spins, it didn't need the extra spins, and we're $48 in profit. Right, let's go to the recent 7 streets. So this is... See how this one did. So it started off badly with 2 losses. So it got down to $21 in the negative. But with 2 wins, it got to a $9 profit. So we reset. Then again, it lost twice, won once, lost 3 times. So it's down to $90 down. Won once, lost once, and won once. And so what we do is we went down to the half bet. We won. So we won at the higher progression. Then we dropped back 1 progression. We got that win. Then we dropped back down to the normal initial bet. Then it got to $84 in profit after 20 spins. Then it had a loss, a win, a loss, a win. That was good enough to reset. $90 profit. We got to $95 profit. Then at spin 30, it was on a free loss level. So even though it was in session, even though it was in profit, we give it up to 5 spins to get back into session profit. That is the rules of the tournament, and that is allowed. So it won, then it lost, and then it won, and the session profit was 98. So after 31 spins, it got to 89, so it still needed to get $7. It lost, then it won, and it got to $101, so it got $3 above what it was at 27. So its session profit was 101. Let's go to the 9 streets. So the recent 9 streets, so a couple of losses there with a couple of wins. Then we could drop down. So this is us being safe. So like I said to you, we lost twice. We need 2.5 wins. So we won twice. We dropped to get our half a win at the progression lower. It lost. So then we went back up to the higher progression. That won. Then the next one lost again. So we had to go up to the 5th progression. We won twice at the 5th progression, and we only needed a half a win to get back into session profit. So we went back down a progression. This is, you need to understand how you're playing, and you need to understand when you can reduce your bets. And if you might be on a quick wheel, so if you are on a quick wheel, you need to understand this information. Like, yeah, you could have kept it high there, but what if you'd lost? You're on to now nearly a $300 bet. So, but we did win. We got up to $21 profit. Then we had a nice streak up to $42 after 22 spins, $42 in profit. Then we lost, and then we literally coasted home with all wins. $60 profit again for the 9 street. So it won $60 last time. So that's a constant one. Then let's have a look at what the, let me see if I can move this a little bit. 1 second. Give it. Get my head out the way. There we go. There we go. Let's see this. Recent 2 dozens. So it started off badly. So it normally wins 4 units, $4 profit. But when it's on a recovery, it will win at least 2 units. So as you can see, it lost 1-1. So then it's $8 up. So it wins 2 units in the recovery position, progression. Then it won, so it got to 12. Lost twice, won twice. So as you can see, we're at 12, a session high. Then we lost twice, won twice. So we are on 20, again, an 8 unit win. So it's two initial wins. So you get out of a progression, you are always guaranteed to be in 2 units of additional profit. Whereas the 9 street bets, sometimes you're only in only 1 unit of profit, of initial bet profit. So, but then it went on a good long run. The recent 2 dozens went on a good long run. So by the 20th spin, it was at $68 profit. I think that's the highest for any of them. Then it had 3 losses in a row, got to the 4th progression, won twice. So then it got to $76 profit. Then it lost on to 28th and the 30th, so it's had to go into the additional spins today. So we're looking at 84. So it has to be higher than 84. So it, after 31 spins, it hit 84, but that's not the rule. The rule is you have to get into session profit. So then it lost on 32. Then it won 33 and won 34. And that got to $116 profit. Right, let's move this back. So let's have just a quick look. I'll get out of the way a little bit. So today, total bets. So we've got the does position got in the most trouble today. It had to bet $1,600. Got a return of just over $650 with a 48. So it did the worst in profit, and it did the worst in having to bet the most money. Then actually today, the recent 2 dozens had the lowest amount of bets placed with the highest amount of profit. Interesting. So what we're going to do now is we will go on to and look at the table. So as you can see here, here's today's table. System we started to play today, recent 2 dozen, is at the bottom. $48 profit. What's a profit though? 30 spins. Recent 9 streets, 30 spins. Recent 7 street needed 33 spins, and the recent 2 dozens needed 34 spins. Let's look at the lowest balances. So how low did our balances get? So recent 2 dozens only got down to $952 of balance. So that's quite good, isn't it? So it was only ever $48 down, essentially. So that balance stayed nice and strong. The does position balance did go down the lowest to 513 at one point, and then the other two were around $700 or $800 that they went down to at some point. But the recovery progression with Martingale worked, and they all had profit again. So we've done 8 sessions now of martingaling, and they've all won. I'd like to see 8 sessions of a system going 1 up on a win, and see if they can get these sort of profits and staying in profit for 8 sessions from 30 spins. I'd like to see that. So what were the win-loss ratios today? So recent 2 dozens, 25-9. So that's over expectation, because we're expecting 2-1 on a 8 street bet, which 2 dozens is. So that's above expectation. It's done the best today, so sort of that's what you would expect. The return on investment is also the best today as well, because obviously of that win ratio probably, but still you could still have a 25-9 ratio and potentially still lose. So you could win 25 in a row and then lose the last 9 and you would still do your bankroll. So win losses doesn't always mean everything. Then we've got the 7 streets, 18 wins to 15 losses and 33 spins. Got $100 profit though, so you know, I do like that recovery method on the 7th street. The 7th street bet has the best recovery method, because you literally need something like 1.1 to recover. So you need more than 1 spin to recover, but it is literally is just a little bit of that second one. That's why when you go back, when you win, when you lose 1, then you win 1, and then you go back a half. But obviously when you're in the first progression, you win and then you go back to the initial bet after 1 loss. So I do like that one. What else can we have a look here and see? And then look, the recent 9 streets, $60 again, 23 wins and 7 losses. So that's just over 3-1. So it's won $12 more than the recent 2 dozens. But look, the recent 2 dozens win to loss ratio was less than 2-1. Whereas the recent 9 streets was 3-1, and it's only just wiped its feet a bit higher than the you know, just look and see. It's interesting. It's not all about what's going on. So let's now just have a look. We'll just move this up. So this is after 2 sessions. After 2 sessions, so you can see the recent does position after the bad session. Well, the lowest profit today has dropped down to 4th position in the win-loss ratio. We're at the win-loss stakes, because we are still looking at win and losses. So the highest win-loss will be at the top. So the 9 street bet has snuck above that and took 3rd position, $120 in profit. The recent 7 streets has got $180 profit now, and the recent 2 dozens has $248 in profit, although it has done 1 spin more than the others. So who has wagered the most in the 2 sessions? That is the recent 2 dozens as well, with just over 3,200 bet, whereas the recent 7 streets, 1,260. So it's bet. So if all the ratios were the same here now, think about it this way, right? We could have done if we just double everything on the recent 7 streets, it's still only done £2,400 worth of bets, but now it's on $360 profit, right? So in that sense, if you look at bets to profit ratio, the 7 streets is way ahead at the second, way ahead. As you can see, the recent 9 streets still as well has got a low. The recent 9 streets, if you look at total bets to profit ratio, that is doing better than the recent 2 dozens as well, even though the recent 2 dozens has got more profit in the same number of spins. Whereas the recent does position, which is one of my favourite strategies to play because I feel it is safe, but I don't know, maybe it's not as safe as I think. Is bottom on all them categories. But the main thing to look at on this graph is we've done 2 30 spin sessions. Some have had a few extra spins, but they are all in profit. For all of both sessions, they were all in profit. So there we go. Session 2 has finished. Who will be the ultimate winner of this league and going forward to, well, I don't know what we're going to do for the second part of the tournament, but this is just the league stage. Don't know if we're going to do knockouts and do best of 5 or something like that, but we'll do something. But there we go. Session 2 has been done. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you're not already. And as always, give me a comment. Tell me what strategies you want me to slip into this tournament. There's still spaces open. So with that said, people, just remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy sitting in his room playing roulette. I use the beer money to have a spin. And if I make profit, I can have a beer. And with that said, as always, I will catch you on the next one.